live struggle legacy. It's a whole movement.
I got you, big baby. I keep the struggle live struggle, live music. Pay attention to how we do it. And so my dog who never made it out. Live struggle, I got you, homie. We break it out, live struggle, live music. Pay attention to how we do it. And so my dog who never made it out. Live struggle, I got you, homie. The things we do when we down on our luck, like a dolphin, anything to get fucked up. What you think? Now we out here trying to get locked up. Desperation brings desperate measures trying to come up.
Hey everybody, it's your boy MP, Live Struggle Legacy, and welcome to the Live Struggle Legacy Podcast, Season 3. Now, real quick, if you haven't already done so, please make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that notification button, start a conversation. If you have a question for our guest, Tommy D, drop it in the comment section. If you're listening on a streaming platform, please make sure you hit that follow button, that notification bell, download, save us, rate us. And if you're looking to promote your business, holler at me because we're looking for sponsors. Okay, with no further ado, I have a very special guest tonight. We've been waiting on this episode a long time, all the way from the dirty Jers, none other than the legendary promoter. This man pioneered the EDM scene on the whole East Coast, Tommy D of Juice Entertainment. Welcome to the show, brother.
Definitely, brother. Thanks a lot for having me, Mike. I really much appreciate it. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, man, I've been excited about this one for a long time. I've been reading up on your story. So I'm going to let Tommy tell it, but I'm just going to give y'all a little brief, idea of how Tommy and I connected and what he's got cooking. He's got some things cooking, not so great things. He was doing great things, and then somebody had to go and try to throw a wrench in the operation, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. That's about what happened, right?
Yeah, you read on the money. I built a career over 15 years in the entertainment business, besides throwing house parties for another God knows how many years before that, living, struggling. And then Live Nation Entertainment wiped me out, and I've been battling the court for 15 years. So you got it right, Mike.
So this is a true David versus Goliath story. We got the one-man army of Juice Entertainment, Tommy D, going up against the biggest entertainment company on the planet, right? Live Nation.
Yeah, biggest on the planet. They own everything. They control everything. They buy everyone. They can't buy me.
Yeah,
and that's the problem.
Yeah. Well, there, man. So let's get into it, man. I want to get into your story. So first of all, tell us your live struggle, Tommy. Like, tell us. I know you've been on your own since 16. How long you been doing music? Like, how'd you get into it? How'd you end up on your own at 16? Like, tell us your story, man.
Yeah. So, my father was the inspiration of my life. He passed away when I was thinking around 12 years old.
Sorry to hear that, man.
And then my mother ended up remarrying, and I ended up like in music. My dad, when I was told, my dad used to take me to concerts all the time, from Bruce Springsteen, Bon Jovi, you name it. Like, it was like, you wouldn't even call it hip hop at that time, but that kind of music, everything.
Yeah.
So it really got me into music, So that's what got me inspired to music when I was a kid. Then after that, when around 15 years old, I was my mom remarried. Didn't work out so well for me, so I ended up living on my own. So I rented houses to survive, and to pay for these houses, I threw house parties. So at the time, you didn't call it EDM; it was called house music, but that was cool.
Yeah.
I had friends come in and DJ. We put like glow sticks up and stuff, like fog machines, like we think we were cool. And then I started packing houses out with hundreds. And then
is that where that name came from, Tommy? House music, because of the house parties?
I don't know, but that's where my name came from.
Yeah, it makes sense though. My bad, I didn't mean to interrupt
you. And so I paid to live. I paid for people to come into my house and party, and I did
Yeah.
hundreds and hundreds, sometimes thousands of people. Shit got crazy. I got kicked out of a lot of houses, lived in different houses, and that's how I got into the industry.
Yeah. Okay. So along the way, so it was your dad who got you into music.
Yeah, my dad and he used to take me and my sister Colleen to concerts. That's
Yeah.
young. I think it took me like 4 years old. He took us to
Yeah.
all the concerts. I remember being at the Bon Jovi concert at the Meadowlands, and the guitarist threw the pick at me, and I was on my dad's shoulder, and I was like catching. I was like, yes. I got pushed by some big dude and it fell over. But yeah, I went to Michael Jackson down in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Um, my dad was taking me to concerts all the time, and my dad is like an inspiration in my life, and really got me into music. And I've
Was your
always
dad in
loved
the industry?
it. Hmm?
Was he in the music industry?
Nah, my dad wasn't in the music industry. He was working class man, busted his
Yeah.
ass, construction. But
Yeah.
he wasn't in music industry, but he got me into the music industry because he loved music.
Yeah. Obviously he loved music, right?
Yeah, without a doubt.
Man, I can relate in a way because my mom got me into music. My mom used to take me to all the shows. Unfortunately, I lost my mom earlier this year. Um,
Sorry if
but
you lost.
thank you, Tommy. But yeah, man. I mean, she would bring me to. I mean, everything you could think of. The first show I ever went to was the Grateful Dead and the Black Crowes. That's the first show I ever went to at Raymond James in Tampa, where the Bucks play. And that was the last show I think that Jerry Garcia ever did. It was definitely the last tour. It was April of 1995. You know what I mean? Like,
Memorable.
yeah, yeah. So I can relate. That's how I got into music, just being exposed to a lot of different music, all different genres, and it just being like a refuge for me.
Very, very much myself. My dad was into all different kinds of music, took me to all different concerts, and yeah, it was cool. Me and my
Now
sister
with the
Colleen.
house, yeah, man, I love that. So the house parties, was that something that you just kind of started to do on your own, or did you have somebody like mentoring you, coaching you up along the way, or how did that come to be?
Well, the house parties, my mom remarried. It didn't work out so well, so I was living on my own. So I had to live somewhere, and to pay for these house parties, pay for these houses. Um, I started throwing parties. It just happened like that.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
Um, if I take it back a second, not going too long, my dad passed away when I was younger.
yeah.
When I
I'm
was
sorry.
13, I was throwing house parties on the Wildwood beaches. Um, when at 13 years old, the lifeguards were giving me, they were called beer balls back then, I think, before even kegs, and they were like, "Yo, we like you, come chill with us," and they were giving it to me, and I was literally throwing parties for like 19-year-olds. You know what I mean?
Oh
Shit.
shit! So they would give you the kegs, and then you had like the plug.
Yeah, I was
Yeah, yeah,
chilling at their houses, and they were like, "Yo, go throw a party." I might throw a party. I
yeah,
was small as hell, you know what I mean? They're like, "Yeah, we're gonna give you this shit. Let's go." So that's
yeah,
kind of how it
man.
first started. It was back in the beaches down the Jersey Shore. But then when I was living out on my own, I needed to survive, and throwing the house parties and charging people to get in for a keg of beer, shots. When I had DJs performing, like that's my friends for like free.
Yeah,
That's how
yeah.
that's how I paid to live, and that's I went through a lot of houses and some crazy parties, and but that's what got me into the business.
So how did you eventually get organized to actually be doing shows and festivals and whatnot?
Yeah, so when I first started off, I was started doing like guest lists. I would have like parties and have like hundreds of people in my house, sometimes even 1,000 people. Didn't so good with the cost, but so I would bring people to New York City clubs like Carbon, Limelight, telling us some legendary stuff that people don't know. And
Yeah,
I'd bring like 200 people with me just to go party and chill. It wasn't even for
yeah,
money. And then I was like, then they're like, yo, you're bringing a lot of people. We'll pay you $1 a head or $2 a head or something like that. I was like, all right, cool. So then I was like, you know what? I saw that and I was like, I love music. I think I can do this shit, and I think I can make a business out of this.
Yeah.
And that's how I started getting into the business. And then I was doing I was these guest lists are doing well, and I was about to launch like my first party, and then I had tragedy hit me. Um, I went to a house party at somebody else's house, not mine, and when I was there, um, somebody ran up from behind, wrong place, wrong time for me, and I got hit in the back of the head with a gallon of vodka, smashed and
Oh
fractured
shit.
my skull.
Damn.
Uh, Internal bleeding. Get medevaced into a hospital. Um, I was 80% blind. I was told I had a 1% chance of living with the surgery. Um,
You had to have brain
came out
surgery?
surgery. Yeah, right
Damn.
here, right here.
Damn, Tommy, man.
1% chance of living. I always hid this through the club years because I never wanted anybody to hold anything weakness on me, so no one knew.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
never really even talked about this to recent times, except my assistant Gianna. She told me this ain't a weakness, this is a strength, and you should talk about it. She convinced me. So
yeah,
no, I'm still uncomfortable doing it because I've only done it about 3 times. But so that's what happened. And then I went into a really rehabilitation institute, Kessler Rehabilitation, and they told me, in that rehabilitation, they told me you are going to be permanently disabled. You're not going to be able to do this, that. And I was like, fuck that shit. I'm proving everybody wrong. So
yeah, man.
within 5 months, 6 months, I walked out, didn't finish rehab. Um, and I was living on my own, and I started promoting club parties. And I started my first club party. I worked 6, 7 months, 20 hours a day. My vision came back, different parts of your brain work, came back.
Yeah,
Everything was just good. A lot did. And I was working 7 days, 20 hours a day, literally busting my ass. And I promoted a Wednesday night party because I got that because nobody goes out on Wednesdays back in the day.
yeah.
And even the club owner of the club gave me the Wednesday, and I packed out a Wednesday night within 7 months coming out of rehab. Um, and that's how I first started successfully in the business.
So it sounds like that almost needed to happen to fuel you to take it to another level. Like you use that as motivation.
Yeah, I don't know if it needed to happen. I was ready, motivated to do the
Yeah,
clubs. It just happened. But I just
yeah.
didn't let it stop me. Because that's
That's
one thing
right,
about
bro.
me. That's one thing about me. I don't stop.
Yeah,
I don't
man.
stop. Like if I got a mission, I'm on a cause, like I am against Live Nation right now, I don't stop.
Well, you know what, bro? That I'm so grateful that you came onto this show because you're the exact kind of story that resonates with our branding. Live Struggle started in a prison, and it was actually my homies said we used to do shows. I did some time in Fed, and we used to do shows on the rec yard. There'd be 1,500 people on the combat. You have 700 people outside. These big shows,
Yeah,
and you got a dude playing bass, a dude on the drum kit, another dude playing rhythm or guitar, might have somebody on cowbell or something, and we'd be doing these shows, and we used to call them the Live Struggle one. Unfortunately, my homie never made it. He never made it home. Right, we were supposed to be doing these shows when we came out. He's from Clearwater, which is still Tampa Bay. I'm in St. Pete. So I don't know how familiar you are with the Tampa Bay area. Tampa's across the water from St. Pete, and then St. Pete and Clearwater are side by side, same county,
yeah,
right? But
Clearwater, you
all
got
this
those beautiful beaches.
yeah, St. Pete too. Like all beaches, all up and down St. Pete, all the way up Clearwater, right? And so that's all Tampa Bay. But here we are in Fed, way out we were in South Carolina, we were in Mississippi, all over, and so you see a homeboy from a familiar place, you get close with that person, right? He's from Clearwater, I'm from St. Pete, in the same county. So and then to have music to lean on in there. But the whole idea is we were supposed to start a company. We were supposed to take these songs that we were performing and then record them and publish them, release them. And that never happened. He never had that opportunity. He unfortunately, we lost him in prison from an aneurysm that ruptured. So here I am thinking about I got people trying to help me out when I came home and throw me shows and follow me around with a camera and do this documentary. And I was so grateful for that. But at the same time, I felt like, man, I got to do something for my homie, and so that's when I came up with the concept, which was originally his live struggle, but now we make it live struggle legacy. So the whole concept is to celebrate people and their passions with the intention of inspiring people to give their gifts to the world before it's too late, right? So I bring people on that have been through adversity, such as yourself, and you don't let nothing stop you, right? So whether it be half a gallon of vodka across your dome or a motherfucking David and Goliath lawsuit with the biggest company, Tommy D still standing, right?
I'm still standing and I ain't backing down. And I
Yeah,
respect
right.
how you created this for your friend. It's really a good thing, you know. Um, Totally respect that. My first party that I did successfully, solo party in New Jersey in 1997. Actually had to move out of the town I was in for throwing so many house parties, and I wasn't doing it at the time, but I ended up getting locked up for just being Tommy D, the house party thrower. And my first
Two
Wednesday,
turned up.
my
What's up?
first Wednesday, my first Wednesday night party, I was in jail the night before. I don't even know why, for just being me, moving to a different town. And I
Yeah,
remember clearly I had to go to that first party, and it was a mob owner boss. And I had, jail, they take your shoelaces, they tear everything. I came from a club. So I had to go to
yeah,
that party with my no shoelaces, with dress
yeah.
shoes on, because they were cool back in the day, not now. And hobble around with that mob boss looking at me like, "What the fuck you
Like who
doing?"
the fuck is this dude? Yeah. Man, so that's wild. And so this is still like right after you got out of the hospital, all this is just starting to happen real fast. You're pumping up.
Yeah, I was fired up. I was ready. Nothing was gonna stop me from creating. I was told by my family at the time, tell everybody else, you can't create a club empire. Go to college, and that was even before my head injury. And I was like, nah, I'm creating a club empire. This is what I'm gonna do. So you know what I mean? That was me.
Yeah, man. So was this a vision from when you were young that you saw through?
Nah, like to be honest with you, when I was young, I had no clue what the fuck I wanted to do.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
but then I loved music, and then the club parties became as a necessity just to survive, and
yeah,
then I was like, I love music and this is cool. I like doing this and this is fun and I enjoy throwing these parties and I like when people party and this is cool. So like, you know what? I can create an empire. Who's gonna tell me I can't? And that was my goal. And I ended up
yeah,
doing it over time. A lot of hard work and my team, obviously, not just me.
yeah, 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 man. No, I love it, bro. I love it. So okay, I think I asked you, but did you have somebody coaching you up, kind of showing you the game, or you just kind of figured it out by just doing it?
Well, just I guess two people. One, my dad from a young age.
Yeah,
He taught me grind, 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 you know, bust your
yeah,
ass. That's what it is
yeah,
for success. And the other part, he taught me like honesty and loyalty.
yeah,
And I
yeah.
hold that to a code to this day. And, it's probably why I'm in a suit with Live Nation and I haven't taken their money. And why we're actually in here today, because listen to my dad's code of loyalty. And then the other person, I'd never had a mentor. One thing, I never did. But I'll give one person credit. And they didn't do much, but it meant a lot to me. I was outside of the Tunnel nightclub in New York City, and I was passing flyers out, trying to invite people to my first party, 96, 97. And I remember it to this day. The kid's name was Louis Santana. Nice, fancy suit. I'm out there handing flyers out at 5 o'clock in the morning, inviting girls to come to the party. Hand it to a girl. Some dude takes the flyer. Bitch slaps me in the face, cuts my face. I never back down. So I go down to fight him, and there's like five dudes, and I'm small, and they're big as hell. He comes down and says, "What the fuck you doing?" I was like, gonna fight. He's like, "No. Do you realize what you're doing? You're gonna never succeed." I was like, "Why?" And then he told me, he's like, "What did you just miss?" And I was like, uh, fighting back at that dude, getting embarrassed between six hot girls. It's like, no, you missed the other seven hot girls that walked past that you could have just invited them to your party and had a successful one. I'll tell you one thing. So I'll call that my mentor because
Yeah.
after that, I never took no. And it never bothered me. No, never bothered me. I just wiped it off my shoulder my whole life and just went to the
Yeah.
next. And he told me
Yeah.
that he tried to offer me a job. I was like, nah, I'm gonna do this. It's gonna fail. But he told me if you can do that, he goes, I see shit in you. You're out here all the time outside my clubs.
Yeah.
You can do something. So I give him the credit for my success. I wouldn't call it a mentor, but the advice really helped me.
To just tell you to keep pushing, right?
Yeah, because then I started working, going on college campuses. People know, screw you, fuck you, boom, across my whole life. And you just say, yeah, cool. Get 20
On
no's,
to the
get one
next
yes.
one.
Doesn't matter. So that was,
Yeah.
I really took that to heart and I ran with it. So I'm not a mentor, but advice helped me.
So you really started popping off in New Jersey, but then you expanded to New York, and that's all right there, right? Just over the bridge, right?
Yeah, we're right there, tri-state area, right together. I started in New
Yeah.
Jersey. I started running nightclubs. There was a legendary one, the Sound Factory in New York City. I was one of the directors there. And then I grew. I started running. I started off as nothing, but through hard work and my team's hard work. And first it was just one person with me, and then I grew it to like hundreds over time. Um, then we started running every major nightclub through New York, New Jersey, down to even Miami, Space, with their music conference. And then it got to a point over time with a real lot of hard work where you wanted your club pack, you called Tommy D. You called me,
Yeah.
and you had 50 people in your club. You wanted 3,000, 10,000, and within 2 weeks, you called me, and me and my team would get it done.
So tell us what it was like navigating, because you said a lot of these clubs are like mob owned. There's lots of politics. So and you made it through all that right successfully, but then Live Nation came came at you dirtier than any of that gangster shit, right?
Yeah, the mob shit, you know what I mean? It was stuff you could fend off,
Yeah.
I had a mafia owner, like I had so many mob stories, but like nothing for nothing, the mafia let you do business. I had a mob
Yeah.
owner put a gun in my mouth, threatened to kill me. But I was like, listen, dude, you're gonna lose all this money. And I was like, pull the trigger and shoot me. If not, you lose the money. They let me walk out, they let me make money. I didn't get
Yeah.
any crime family coming after me. But you know what? End of the day, the mob, they never stopped me from doing business. I never paid them $1. If you didn't back down from them and you reasonably talk to them, you could keep doing business. They never stopped me from doing business. Live Nation did. And that's why I
Yeah.
say Live Nation is a lot more powerful than the mafia.
So when did you start to get the attention of Live Nation? How did that come about?
So we went from the beginning of my career. I had a 15 years of success
Yeah.
running every major club. I MySpace back in the day, social media. We're on stuff now. This will be on something. I ran all their major parties, all their events starting off. I did every major club, even Steve-O, Cancun, Jackass, you name it. I got huge. I got really big, and I opened a nightclub. I won the number one sound system in the world. I was featured on my walls of publications, which is like for like other people like winning Oscars. So I achieved my goal. I created that club empire. I did it,
Yeah.
but I wanted to get bigger. I was ambitious, and the next step up was to get in the festival industry. And I saw house music, which became EDM. I call it house music, but EDM is
Yeah.
when it became cool, I guess. Um, I saw that gonna turn mainstream, so I made a contract with the state for Meadowlands. Anybody that's not familiar there from down in Florida, I love Florida, warmer weather. um, that was the home of the Jets and the Giants. And the State Fair
Okay.
Meadowlands, it was a hugest carnival on the East Coast, over 500,000 attendees with 150 plus rides. Massive. They had a huge concert space. I made a contract for 10 years to produce all concerts, all festivals, all events over 4 weeks over the summer season. And I was on the peak, a producer. I was producing, and it was happening. The largest EDM, called house music, EDM festival in the East Coast until
And
Live
where was
Nation.
this at?
This is at the Meadowlands Stadium, the
Yeah.
home of the Jets and Giants. I'm a Jets
Okay,
fan,
and so that's
you
in
can show my loyalty.
that's on the Jersey side.
Yeah, it's on the Jersey side. So where the Jets and the Giants play,
Yeah.
MetLife Stadium. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
a massive fair that's there, the State Fair Meadowlands, right at the brand new stadium. It was that year, a $2 billion stadium just built. I was putting on the largest EDM festival in the East Coast, if not the United States.
So,
Until
like,
Live
what are we
Nation.
talking for capacity of people at a venue like that?
So capacity wise, with our extended fence line, it could have been over 100,000 people. You know,
Damn. So
I
you were
was
doing shit
looking
like
at
that.
we were looking at our projections. Just I had exclusive rights to all concerts at all festivals. This is my biggest deal in my life, and it was a turnkey operation. So many deals I did that were so hard. This one, the State Fair Meadowlands handled almost everything. We were looking at over $100 million over the 10 years just for the EDM festival alone, not even anything else. UFC, Latin, I did everything in my clubs. I did hip hop, you name it.
N-
Not including any of that.
so tell me, like, did they? So this is what Live Nation. This is what put you on their radar to come and try to take what you had built.
Yeah, so over just circling back, you might go over those 15 years, I never dealt with Live Nation. They did like rock and roll. I didn't do rock and roll. You know what I mean? They never. I knew their name. They never bothered me. I never bothered them. Um, I got hit up by the owner of the State Fair Meadowlands. His name is Aldorso. Uh, that's the guy I had the contract with, and he's like, Live Nation is crazy furious. They're going crazy. They need the EDM music. They said it's going mainstream. They're gonna kick you out of. They're getting you out of here. They're gonna block all your talent worldwide. They're gonna block all your ticketing. They're bashing you to the Sports Authority, which is his landlord, the owner of the Meadowlands, to the
Yeah.
powers that can be, and get you out of this contract. And this guy's backing me up. This is the owner of that I had a contract with, and he's like, I want to keep you here, but the guy was shook.
Yeah.
I don't blame him. So he
Because
asked
Live
me to
Nation has clout.
he asked me to meet with the Live Nation executives because they're threatening to block the whole entire festival unless I partner with them.
So did they make you an offer?
So I met, yeah. So I didn't want to, but I met with the Live Nation executives, Jason Miller, the president of Live Nation New York City, and John D'Esposito at the time, the VP of Talent, which Michael Rapino, Live Nation CEO, claimed to be their largest market in the United States. I went in and met with them. I was hoping to give them a couple kiddie parties, some rock and roll stuff, because I had the exclusive. Just leave me alone. They came and attacked like pit bulls, savages, fucking, we're going to blow you out of the contract. We're kicking you out of the Meadowlands is our stadium. We're going to block your talent worldwide. We're going to block all your ticketing from Ticketmaster. It was, and I'm talking nice how it was. It was crazy. Way worse than I ever dealt with the mafia. And then they said, you kick your two partners out, John DiMatteo and Vito Bruno. You kick them out, we fund the festival. Because I was like, yo, no, we want EDM. We want EDM. That's the next thing to blow up. We're taking it. We'll fund the festival. You kick those two out. I only had a handshake deal with them at the time, my two partners. And we'll fund it and give you 50%. I will never break a handshake deal because I learned that from my dad at a young age. loyalty and your word is bond is more than money and more than anything. So I told them I'm not kicking my partners out. They said if you don't kick their partners out, we will block all the talent worldwide from performing your event, and we will blow you the fuck out. Which they did.
Damn, man. Fuck, bro.
I allege it, but I'll prove it at trial.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But did you even get to get your rocks off with any of those shows, or did they stop it before it even really started?
They stopped it before it started because what happened is, and a lot of people ask about this and don't understand. So like house music becoming EDM, at that time, electronic dance music, I was a pioneer of it for 15 years. I saw
Yeah,
it was going to go mainstream. It was the new rock and roll. And that's
yeah,
why I was putting this festival on. Live Nation CEO, Michael Rapino, he's out there publicly, his articles about it, saying we're behind the eight ball. We're screwed. We need to either acquire or hire the promoters. I wouldn't get acquired or hired because we're fearful lesser known organizations are going to lock up EDM festival spots like I did before we do. And that's what happened. So they wiped me out before I could even put on a festival. They blocked, I allege they did. They blocked all my talent. They blocked my events. They started to block ticketing, and they wiped me out of the not just my festival. Then they ended up wiping me out of the whole industry.
damn, man. And how long ago did this all come to surface?
That's 15 years.
That was 15 years ago.
15
That
years. I've been fighting them in court for 15 years.
and they completely shut you down from being able to do anything.
Yeah, so after they wiped me out of my festival and got me kicked out of the festival by blocking all the talent, which they said I had loopholes in my contract to me. My loopholes were I needed to book talent. Well,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
told me the William Morris agency, the largest talent G in the world, was their exclusive one, and they're not letting me get any talent unless I work with them, which I didn't. And they're blocking Tiesto. That was, if you're not familiar, EDM artist
Yeah, he
worldwide.
just did
Four
something big
people.
down here.
Yeah, my partner John Mateo at the time that I had the handshake deal with that I could have kicked out and took 50% of the money and been a different story today, but I had no regrets. He booked Tiesto. He was like, I got the way I can refer to is like back in the day with boxing. If you wanted Mike Tyson, you called Don King. It was
Yeah.
the same with Di Matteo and Tiesto. Everything in New York came through
Okay.
Di Matteo. So yeah, so they wiped me out there, and then I was nominated the number one promoter at the time by the New Jersey Star Ledger. At the time, was the largest publication in New Jersey and the largest state publication in the world. Well, not world, the United States. And there was only four people nominated. Live Nation got my name removed, and I was told got my name removed because they wanted to prove a lesson, teach a lesson to someone that was going to step up to them like me. And after that removal, and Live Nation bad mouthing me, and I'll prove it at trial. I got blacklisted from the whole industry. I went from the top, chilling, drinking champagne with Snoop Dogg, Paris Hilton, who was Snoop Dogg was in my birthday party with Joel Santana, who did it for free. Just in Ja Rule showed up just to perform for free, just because he didn't came out of nowhere, just wanted to show up and do it. You know, I ran a lot of
Because
stuff.
Tommy D know how to throw a party.
Tommy D know how to throw a party, and I threw it for 15 fucking years, throw crazy parties and a lot of success. Um, they wiped me out of everything. I was blacklisted from the industry, and I ended up going homeless again.
So, I mean, did you maintain any connections? Like, is it all really that like gate kept to where only you have to go through those agencies that Live Nation has their talents in? Like, there's no way to circumvent other artists, other talent. Like, do they really have their hands in that much?
Yeah, it's at that. I'll go speak to back to the time you're speaking. I tried to go underground. I tried to go like through underground channels, which I never did in my life.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't work out so well. I almost had. I did have an agreement with Aventura, if you're familiar, the Latin band. It was the number one Latin band in the world at the time. I got an
Yeah, yeah.
agreement for them to do a Latin before my contract was terminated. I had an agreement with them to come in and run the whole Latin festival I was going to put in, but my contract got wiped out. But I didn't do that through the regular booking channels where you go to the artist, you go to the management. I had to go to the streets, and do things I would never do. Um, but after that, that's they control everything. You know what I mean? Live Nation and Ticketmaster had merged. Live Nation told me they were going to block all my ticket from Ticketmasters. The president, I was like, "How are you going to block from Ticketmaster? I do business with them. Like we own them." Thought they bullshitted. I Google search it. When I get out, I'm like, I'm fucked. um,
Well, fucking
so
everything.
yeah, it's just pure power.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So you've been just barely getting by these last 15 years?
Yeah. So I never had a job in my life except working myself. So I had to get a job selling like windows first, door to door, then cable door to door. And I funded the litigation against Live Nation, which is not cheap. Busting my ass
Yeah.
7 days a week, building a successful company doing so to fund the litigation and keep the litigation going against Live Nation for 15 years now.
Man. And so now you're just waiting on a decision?
Yeah, so Live Nation has a great strategy: delay, confuse, and pressure.
Yeah.
And
When they
when
got
it
the
comes,
money to do it, ain't money ain't shit to them.
money ain't shit, and power's a lot. That's why they're way more powerful than anything I've ever seen. Way they make the mob look like a joke. You know, what I mean? Mob at least
Yeah.
you can go move to if you didn't. There's at least there's 5 families of the mafia. They compete with each other.
Yeah.
There's only one family of Live Nation owned by the Godfather Michael Rapino with his ring, and there's no competition. So yeah, um, they 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 were ordered by a court, the federal judge, when my case first started to turn over discovery like in 30 days. It took 5 years, 4 or 5 years. We kept going back and fighting. Give us the discovery. Give us the information. We finally ran out of money. Like I'm not this rich person like them, and we finally had to give up. And my lawyer wrote a letter to the court, being basically like the plaintiffs, me, deserve this evidence they're entitled to. But we understand we're wearing out our welcome. Um, so we ran out of money. We gave up. They only gave us 5% of the discovery we're entitled to. It's probably 1%. I'm probably being generous.
Yeah, you got to
They,
go to trial in order to get that. And then when you go to trial, when they give it to you, did they put the black, what do they call that? When they put the black marker all over it, you can't even read the shit?
yeah, so we only got 5% if we're lucky. I call it 1% with the main stuff. But it was enough. And I have their top executives on tape recording confessing to what I'm saying to you. Way worse.
Yeah.
Um, so it's been 15 years going like this. I was told in the beginning I would have a trial we were going to go with what the Department of Justice lawsuit was, antitrust. We went with it's called tortious interference. Same shit. It's a monopoly. Because they said the case, they didn't want it to take 3 years, my lawyers. They want it to be 1 year. Live Nation strategy, it's working. My witnesses are getting old. I come from the club scene. You said you probably came from the club scene. We don't live the healthiest lives. I'm decent, but some of my witnesses are older.
Yeah.
Some of them
Yeah.
at the time were in the 60s. I had
Yeah.
that many years with it. Coming from the club world, reason I started talking publicly, I was like, hey, old age. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
Have they offered you anything worth, like, or are they just trying to stick it to you?
Oh yeah, life changing, life
Yeah.
changing. But in the beginning, I'll be realistic with you. Um, my goal was to get my festival back, to get my
Yeah.
career back,
Yeah.
and make them pay me for what I
Yeah.
lost and apologize. And I
Yeah.
might have been naive, but you know what? I had tape recordings of all their top executives confessing to everything I'm saying to you, and way
Yeah.
worse. I have the
And it's
tape.
not like you did anything to them. You were just throwing parties, and they wanted to just come and like big bro you and take half, right?
I didn't do anything to them. I didn't even know
Yeah,
who they were. They just came in,
that's the whole
blocked all my
thing. Yeah,
town, and
you were
blocked
just
my
doing
whole
what you do.
event.
Yeah.
And I was loyal to two partners um, that I had a handshake deal with, and so they wiped me out. So that's where it went. You know,
Now, where do your partners stand in all this? Are they doing okay, or did they fuck them up too?
the partners I really didn't even know that well. I
Yeah,
just had a handshake deal with them, but I'm a
you
person
just
that
weren't
goes by
trying to
my
fuck them
word.
over.
I don't break my
Yeah,
word. My dad
yeah,
taught me that. Like, my dad passed away when I was 12, you know? But one thing he really
yeah.
taught me was you do a handshake deal and you never break it. And that stuck with me because, like, I'm after my dad passed, he did construction, built driveways and stuff. I remember I was like 14 years, 15 years old. I'd run into people and they'd be like, hey, your dad could have screwed me over like a $70,000 driveway because we didn't have a contract, but he just shook my hand, but he always paid us, always took care of us. So that stuck with me, and that was something that I was never gonna change, and I
Well, you
wasn't
know what?
changing
That's real,
that
Tommy,
situation.
and that's a big part of who you are, and why you resonate with this platform because we stand on our principles, even when they hurt us sometimes, because we're not gonna, we don't fold under pressure. We especially if wrong is wrong and right is right, and you're doing the right thing, right? And I mean, clearly they're wrong. So it's like, what do you got this audience, you got this platform. What do you want the people to know about the details of this case and what that means, not just for you, but for the industry as a whole, promoters, artists, club owners. I mean, it sounds to me like a lot of people are getting bullied, and there's people are afraid to speak out. Not everybody's gonna stand up like Tommy D, right? So like, what can the people take from this, or what do you want your message to be to the people about this whole situation and what needs to change, or what are your thoughts?
Absolutely. So circling back, I was offered life changing money, but moving forward, as time passed, and I saw Live Nations through Discovery, and I saw the information of what they do, which I alleges they run a criminal enterprise where they screw over the fans, the artists, and my expert, Dr. Richard Barnett, confirmed it in a report. The fans, the artists, the independent promoters, and mainly the fans that are getting screwed. They're the biggest victims every single day. That's why I've continued this fight. So I would tell people, anybody listening to this, um, Live Nation, I allege, runs a criminal enterprise. They have multiple sets of books. They run an illegal rebate scheme where it costs all the artists tons of money, rips off the artists, rips off any independent promoters. And I know it might sound complicated because we're going through so much stuff, but going back in time here, it's a very simple racket. They go to a venue and they tell the venue, we'll inflate the cost of goods, the rent, the security, pass it on to the promoter, pass it on to the artist, and you give us, instead of no money, give us $15 a ticket back, all Live Nation's pocket. Just making a number up right here, but what it is. The promoter never sees it. The artist never sees it. The fan, it gets passed directly onto into their ticket cost. I have thousands of events where the promoters are losing so much money. They're on internal documents, begging. Artists losing so much money. And Live Nations on the back end, high five, let's fucking go, making money. So I have something that nobody else has, and that's why I've continued this case.
Well, bro, it's resonating with me right now because I used to go to concerts all the time, right? But man, what are you at the most? You'd pay $40 for like a mainstream big time event. Now, $40, hundreds of dollars, bro. Like, I don't even understand it. It's like, when did it become so expensive? And like, the artist isn't making all the money, like you said. The promoters aren't making all the money. Like, where's this money going? And clearly, it's going to people that really ain't providing shit. They're just coming in to, you know, big bro everybody, I guess, right?
Yeah, it's just the power. Like I said, way more than the
Yeah,
mafia. Just the power. You got Michael Rapino, the Live Nation CEO. You're complaining about ticket prices. Everybody is. This dude
yeah.
is under investigation from the Department of Justice. The Federal Trade Commission has several lawsuits, including mine. And now, when I talk about the mob, going back in the day, John Gotti, Teflon Don, he wouldn't have the balls with all these investigations to go on TV and say, let's raise ticket prices. Michael Rapino is on TV saying ticket prices are too cheap, as we're complaining about, and all the fans are. Let's raise them. That's how much power they have that's unchecked. And
Yeah,
unless it's stopped,
yeah.
those prices will go up and up. And there's people have asked me like, "Oh, what level will they be at?" No, they're just gonna keep taking and keep ripping everybody off unless they're stopped.
So what can the average person do? I mean, do you boycott or what? How do you make a change? Like what can we do to stop this bullshit?
Well, it's a good question. I'll tell you this. My mom, like, I was battling through this stuff for a while. My mom, and I talked about living on my own at a young age. My mom's been a real help for me, and I wouldn't even be here, like, probably fighting this without her back end support now, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
Um, Through time, things change, you know? And first, she was like, yo, Tommy, you should just throw in the towel, take the money, boycott them. I said, how the fuck am I going to boycott them? She's like, yeah, boycott them. I'm like, Mom, it's like if I want to go take my kids to Aruba. Um, okay, Live Nation owns the airline, or Ticketmaster owns the airline because I own Ticketmaster. So I'm gonna drive down to Florida. All right, cool. We get there. Oh, Ticketmaster owns the boat. I can't go there. So if you look at the whole industry, they own everything from sports, Disney on Ice, all the whole entire concert industry. So you can't boycott that. I will never ask anybody to boycott Live Nation because music is our society.
yeah.
Music, they're taking away a basic human right. You go
It's
to
our
our
lifeline
ancient
for a lot of us, bro.
civilizations, you go to our ancient civilizations, they're taking away a basic human right.
Yeah,
And if you
man.
look at it, Live Nation don't discriminate. That's one thing I'll give Michael Rapino and Live Nation, I'll give you credit for it. Crazy world we live in, you're gay, they don't discriminate. You're white, they don't discriminate. You're black, you're Muslim, you're Israeli, the whole world, we're going to fucking rip you off. So you can't boycott them because you would have to lock yourself out of society. So I'll
Yeah,
never ask anybody to do that. The only thing in independent promoters, as there's not many as you can see. I'm probably the only one that even sits out here and speaks out, risking billions of dollars in lawsuits with them right now. Watching this, which is fine with me because everything I'm saying is truth and I got the facts to back it up, and I got the receipts. But you'll be wiped out if you're an independent promoter. If you're an artist and you speak up, there's no show for you. Um,
is that
so
what
the
it
only
feels
thing
like,
I can
Tommy?
say,
I'm sorry.
the
Go
only
ahead.
thing I can say, no, you're good, you're good. The only thing I can say, what you can do is politicians. Your politicians, guess what? You vote them in office.
Yeah,
You vote them in office. You have the power. You go out and I recently had a court hearing in New Jersey, and massive amount of protesters showed up. I was so excited because I had no idea. They were saying justice for Tommy D,
hell
no
yeah,
ticket on
bro.
stage. I was like, wow, damn, you inspired me. I've been by myself all the years. Let's go. I'm doing it for you guys,
Yeah,
not myself anymore, and for your kids and my kids. But you go out and you tell your congressman, you tell your senator, you tell your governor, send letters to the White House. You tell these people, listen, if we keep getting ripped off by Live Nation due to illegal schemes, we're gonna vote you out of office. And you know what? If people do enough of that, it's hard. But if they do it and they vote somebody out, even one, Live Nation has a lot of money, pays a lot to lobbying. But you know what? You vote one person out, guess what? Lobbying money don't mean shit. Their office does. So that's what you do. You vote people out of
yeah.
office that are supporting Live Nation.
The ones that are taking the lobbyist money to make it all fucked up. And bro, and the thing is, like we're just scratching the surface of a much bigger problem all over the world right now, bro. Where people like that, these big conglomerate companies, they're wiping out the Tommy D's in the world. Like there's no more locally owned anything, man. And that's a big part of like what I try to support on this show. Or you know, we support the underdogs, like we support local, you know, and local maybe New Jersey to Florida, right? But we know you're going through the same things that in Jersey, New York, that we're going through down here in Florida, Georgia, Carolina. You know what I mean? Like it's like I think it's these conversations that need to happen that inspire other people to do something about this shit, right? And it's
Yeah.
like you know that makes sense. Keep them out of office, but then again, like not all of us are tapped in. Like we're all living our life trying to get by day. It's like when it comes time to vote, bro. I don't know anything about these people and what they got going on, and I know it's my responsibility to educate myself on that. You know what I mean? But it's just like, man, it does like almost make you feel a little bit powerless when you see these people have all this money, all this power, and like you said, you couldn't even rent a boat, right? You know what I mean? Like,
Well, nobody has money because if you pay $1,000 to go to a concert into a show, you have to choose to pay your electricity bill, your car bill, or be late on your mortgage to take your kid or your girl to a concert. And guess what?
man, and
There's
that's
some
literally
regular
what's
people to
happening.
do so.
That's literally what people are doing. They're having to do that just to go see a concert. It shouldn't be like that. You know, we're in a very weird, fucked up time right now where, you know, the rich keep getting richer. And I feel like we've been saying that my entire life, but it's only gotten, you know, significantly worse. And your story is testament to that. And when you sit there and then you tell me about how like yeah you can't boycott them, they'll make you feel like you're outcasted from society. Like is that how they made you feel? Is that they boycotted Tommy D, right? Pretty much they right.
Well, I didn't. I guess I didn't feel that way. I got kicked out of the entertainment industry, but it's not how I feel that way. I guess I guess never, no one ever really said that to me. I guess it's true, but never really thought of it like that. They kicked me out, but if you boycott them, you can't go to anything. Like my kids, okay? I got a 6 year old and I got an 11-year old. My
Yeah,
6 year old last year, the kid his thing. I got the kid a guitar for Christmas, or Santa did. Santa did, and all of a sudden he's like, he's playing it. Live Nation sucks. Nobody likes me. Thing got over 250,000 views on TikTok. All right, but meanwhile, this year he's like, Daddy, SummerSlam's at MetLife Stadium. I saw the bad guy Ticketmaster's on there. We can't go. I was like, nah, we'll go. I'm like, we can't.
yeah.
No, Daddy,
See,
they screwed you over. You're fighting. I'm like, we can't. That's what I'm saying. Boycott is society. My 11-year-old, he wants to run concerts and get in the field. I'm telling him, nah, dude, Daddy didn't go to college, but you got to. I said because unless something happens in Daddy's case or somebody else's, the industry isn't there. They've killed independent promoters. They killed the fans, and this is a worldwide problem. This isn't a New Jersey problem.
yeah, bro.
And
Like and it's not just there. Like you think about, like I think about who our power provider, fucking Duke Energy. You can't go nowhere else. Prices just go up and down. It's like, what the fuck are y'all doing with the prices? You have no choice. It's like, what am I gonna do? Not have power? You know what I mean? Like it's wild, man. And then you can't even just go. You can't even produce your own power because then it's like a government thing, right? Like you got to pay somebody permits and this and that. You know what I mean? Like it's wild, man. And like I said, we're just scratching the surface of a much deeper conversation. You know, I mean, I wish there was more we could do, but hopefully this conversation sparks you know something in someone to be able to make the changes that we need to make. You know, like I mean, all I think is what because I don't like to deal with the gatekeepers, and we got a lot of that shit going on a small level, like just here in the Tampa
yeah.
Bay area. And I always been the type to say like, look, I'm gonna go do my own thing. You know what I mean with my own people. You know, it's like, and you said that basically you've tried to do that, but their reach is too far that you can't even circumvent it at all.
Nah, nobody can. Their power is so powerful, nobody can get around it, and that's why I never asked anybody to,
Have you
because
not been able to throw like a single event since this shit happened?
No, I lost everything, and that's why I had to end up going. Yeah, look, I went from my wall right there, Snoop Dogg on my birthday party with Joel Santana, Jarul, Paris Hilton, and ended up homeless, going door to door selling cable. You know what I mean? It's cool, no complaints, make it happen. But
Yeah,
that's their
you're
power.
grinding.
It's unchecked power, and that's why I said with the mafia, at least there was the five families and the mafia. The DOJ came in and took the mafia out in the early '90s. They were weaker when I dealt with them. You know what I mean? Um, and with Live Nation, they have so much unchecked power. They control everything. Everything. There's no entertainment industry. People call it the entertainment industry. It's the live entertainment industry. And the ticket prices, we have inflation on everything going now. Look at the ticket price inflation. It's
Oh, it's
way
unreal.
beyond regular
I've looked
inflation.
at it like,
It's called
man. Mhm.
it's called
What you say?
live entertainment inflation. Michael Rapino, their CEO inflation. That's what it is.
Yeah,
And it's
man.
all
I
run
mean,
by
like,
a racket scheme.
at least the mob took care of people, bro. You know what I mean? Like these motherfuckers ain't take care of nobody. Like it's a damn shame. But at the very least, we get the information out, so at least the people know what they're dealing with. And hopefully it can get on the right ears of somebody that could potentially make a difference. I mean, it's conversations like these that do make a difference. But while we got you, Tommy, if there's anything, I mean, is there anything that you're actively promoting now, or any call or action that you want to from our audience, like anything anybody can do to help or to spread information, or you know what I mean? Like what are your thoughts that you want to leave the people with?
Yeah, so two things. Like you said, the mob took care of their people. True. Also, if you were by the mob and you wanted to get away and you lived in New York and New Jersey, you can move to Idaho. You can open your shop right there. You can milk some cows, and you can get away. You can throw concerts in Idaho.
Florida, everybody moved to Florida, right?
You can do anything, but you can't throw concerts in Idaho. I take it back. You can do anything, but you can't throw concerts there. So
Yeah,
just answering that. Then circling back there, what I'm asking for is fans. I won't ask independent promoters to come out and speak against Live Nation because they'll be wiped out of the industry and they'll be like me. And I won't ask that to anyone to suffer or no complaints. But what I've been through, I'm not asking artists to get knocked out of the industry because that's what'll happen immediately. It'd be great if they speak out. I know Kid Rock did a little bit, but fans, you can. I have my website tommydjuiceentertainment.com. I'm launching a new one, shutdownlivenation.com, where it will have a list of all your Congress people on there for you to go to. And I'm going to actually then update the site. That's not done yet. Hopefully, when this airs, it will. I'm going to update the site where it's going to show where lobby money is going, and it's going to show where there's people that are supporting Live Nation, and let those consumers, the fans, the voters, make the choice. There's a big movement in Portland right now, Portland, Maine, and it gives a little hope. In Portland, Maine, the Maine Music Alliance has came out and they've said we don't want Live Nation. It's the only, and I'm supporting them full force behind the scenes, and they know, and I'm helping them. And it is stopping Live Nation from getting into the only independent place left in the United States. So that shows me that if a community rallies and people care that they pay $1,000 a ticket, and promoters care that they have to barely scrape by to earn a living to bow to Live Nation, and artists care, the fans can change the game. We're voters. We can do it
yeah,
here. We can do it in other countries. And you know what? Make your voice be heard. Be vocal. Be vocal. Be vocal. I'm only one voice. And me, I'm doing this. I would have threw in the towel 10 years ago. This ain't about me anymore. I could care less. This is about my kids, your kids. This is about fans getting ripped off. This is about the music scene that made my life, made me, and made me live. And I want it to be for other people. And that's like a legacy I'd like to leave behind. But I'm doing it for that. But other people, I just show, other people need to get vocal. And they need to get vocal and they need to speak out. Not the fans need to. And a lot more.
yeah. So you have an active website right now. Yes, I know you said you're building the one site, but you have a Juice Entertainment is live right now.
Yeah, Tommy D's Juice Entertainment's live, and ShutdownLiveNation.com is live, but it's
Oh,
going to
that's
be updated.
live. Okay, hell yeah. So
It's
what's the first one?
ShutdownLiveNation.com. And
What's the first one, Tommy?
Tommy D JuiceEntertainment.com.
TommyDJuiceEntertainment.com. Are you offering any services or anything right now, or are you just getting the story out through the site?
Just getting the story out to the site on ShutdownLiveNation.com. It has a list of your congressmen, senators,
Yeah, now we're
governors.
talking.
Go complain and speak your voice out and make your voice heard and make change.
So that's how people can connect and make a difference through your websites.
Yes, absolutely. Through the websites, and they can do anybody that wants help in a certain area, reach out to me. I've never not given anybody help in any area where they're doing the right thing. And if it's anything against Live Nation, I will back you and support you. Do whatever I can do. Listen, I have limited resources. I've been fighting them in federal court for 15 years. It's trained me pretty thin, but I'm doing this for people. I'm doing this for
Man,
you. And you know what? But some people need to the people need to stand up, and the people need to hold their own ground, because I'm only one person, and I don't ask other people like me in the promotion world to do so. But if the fans get up, the fans revolt. Like, think about it. If Michael Rapino, he wants to raise those ticket prices, can you imagine if he went in a stadium by you in Florida? You know, what city you in?
St. Pete, but right outside of Tampa.
All right, so cool. What if he gets on Tampa Stadium in Tampa? He gets on the stage. Let's raise ticket prices. We're raising them. What do you think the fans are gonna do?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
tell me. They're gonna
Well,
go
man,
fucking wild, right?
yeah, they need to. They need to, man, because like what I see people
That's what's
doing
happening.
is I see people, sacrificing their kids' school supplies so they can go to a concert, bro, and that shouldn't even
It's
come to that.
disgusting.
Yeah, man.
It's
Yeah,
disgusting. And I
because
have
they're
their
paying.
internal information. They're two sets of books showing. I allege, but I have it.
Yeah,
My expert, Dr. Rich Barnett, he wrote the book on this whole entire business. If any your kids or my kids, any kids go to school for the concert industry, they read his book. And he confirmed all their internal documents through my case, showing why everyone is getting ripped off through their legal rebate scheme. And it costs the ticket prices an extra 30 to 40%. If my information is exposed to trial, I might sound crazy saying this, but if I didn't have the cooked books behind me in these cases, I wouldn't say it at all. Ticket prices will drop 30 to 40% in a day.
So, do you have this information posted? If people want to use this information and potentially help you, and people that are fighting a similar battle, you could potentially connect. Is this all this information up on your site?
It's on my site, and they can see. They can Google Bill Pascrell. It was a late congressman. Exposed a report of mine. Explosive report. Live Nation.
Yeah,
The documents, they're sealed by Live Nation. If someone wants them unsealed, go complain to your senators and congressmen and ask for the documents
yeah.
to be unsealed. Or give me a joy trial, and I'm going to unseal those documents, and I'm going to put them out to the world, because that's why I've continued this for the fans.
Damn right, Tommy. Damn right, bro. So if people want to connect with you, this is the best way to connect through TommyDJuiceEntertainment.com.
TommyDJuiceEntertainment.com. Hit me up.
And then the other site,
ShutdownLiveNation.com. It's in the works right
shut down
now,
live.
but it is
Shut
live,
down live.
but
Okay.
it's in the works, and that's the one where it
Okay.
gives you the resource to go to your senators and congressmen.
Yeah, see that's what I want to make sure we get this out to the people. Anybody watching this, you know what to do. Make sure you go check out Tommy D Juice Entertainment and shutdownlivenation.com. Man, Tommy, I just want to give you your flowers, bro. I know when you make decisions, life-changing decisions like this, when you may be holding on to thoughts of regret, but like you said, bro, you don't have any regrets. You're standing on principles like this. This podcast is about legacy, and you're taking the legacy that your father passed down to you, and I have no doubt that you're passing that legacy on to your children as well. So, on that note, any closing remarks that you have for our audience, and what does legacy mean to you? I think you already said it, but I just want to hear you say it, bro.
Yeah, you got it with me. That's what legacy. And honestly, my legacy, it don't mean much. But you know what it is? I'm hoping my legacy, not for myself, but for my kids, your kids, other people's kids, we can get a real scene again. That we can have a real music scene. Independent promoters, they create creativity. Look at all the club scene, it's dead. Get all the clubs to open up again. Get all
Yeah,
the artist development. Look at artist
yeah.
development, it's dead. I developed so
They
many
don't do
artists.
it anymore, bro. They don't. They don't do artist development anymore.
Because Live Nation
It's
killed the
sad.
whole scene. Let's get artist development. And you know what? My legacy, I don't care if my name's on it, but it's just there in my heart to be there. Is that ticket prices get way lower where they should be? There's no reason they're at these prices. It's
Yeah,
just a racket. It's literally like a mob telling you pay this much for a good, and because we're scamming everything in the back end, and that's it. And
yeah,
that's what it is. It's really that simple. And you know what? So my legacy, if I can make the change, I don't care if my name's on it. I just care that it does the right thing for my kids, their kids, and everybody else's kids, and the future of the music industry that made my life and made me survive and made me continue.
Man, listen, we are tapped in with the industry. I've had a lot of industry people come on the show. I know this message is going to resonate with a lot of people. And I just want to thank you, Tommy, for bringing your story, your message, your energy to this platform, brother. I wish you the very best in everything that you have going on. Family first above all else. I already know that that's the type of man that you are. But, I pray that things work out for you, your family, and the future of the music industry, bro. For real, man. Like, thank you for what you're doing. I just want to give you your flowers and say that you're a real one, Tommy. And I, it's been an honor to have you on the show. I appreciate you so much, brother.
Well, thank you so much for having on. And when I get a jury trial, because I'm entitled to, I don't know when it'll be, but when I do, it was so nice to see my last hearing massive protesters showing up, lower ticket prices, justice for Tommy D. When I get my next trial, the last thing to add to your viewers, show up at the trial, protest,
Damn right.
show your
Damn
support,
right.
and that's it. And
Man,
thank you so much for having me on. And I love how you keep it real, and it's awesome. And this podcast is awesome.
thank you so much, brother. It's been an honor and a pleasure. And anybody watching this, please make sure you check out TommyDJuiceEntertainment.com. Connect. Go to what it was, the NLiveNation.com.
Nah, screw the
Cancel live.
livenation.com. That's a big middle finger right there. TommyDJuiceEntertainment.com and shut down livenation.com.
Shut
That
down.
was
Shut
that
down
was a
Live
lot, baby.
Nation.
That was
Damn
I had to
right,
give that
Tommy.
to I had to give that to Mike Live Nation CEO Michael Rapino.
You're
Shut
fucking
down Live
right.
Nation.
Fuck that motherfucker. We can say that freely on
Exactly.
this platform. No, nobody's
Exactly. On this
gatekeeping us
realm,
around
fuck
here.
that motherfucker. He needs
Damn
to get
right.
out of his mansion and he needs to get and talk to regular people about raising ticket prices. Go to the
And
streets.
man, I know a lot of my people watching this show right now. You resonate, so put your money where your mouth is. At least your energy, and go in there. Check out Tommy's site. Write your congressman. Do something about it. Especially, I know y'all like to go to shows, man. We got to get these ticket prices down. We got to get artists paid, promoters paid. We got to get the clubs back popping. We got to get people doing back
Let's
to
fucking
good.
go.
Yeah, let's fucking go, Tommy D, man. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate you so much. It's Tommy D of Juice Entertainment. This man pioneered the industry. Goliath versus David. This man, he's standing on 10 toes and like in the paint, bro. Like, much respect. Tommy, I appreciate you so much, brother.
Thank you very much. And thank you for having me on again. And thank you to your viewers.
It's Live Struggle Legacy. I appreciate y'all checking in. If you haven't already done so, please make sure you hit that like button, that subscribe button, that notification button. If you got a question for Tommy G, make sure you drop it in the comments. Make sure you check out that site. If you're looking to promote your business, holler at me. We're looking for sponsors. Make sure you check out the website, livestrugglelegacy.com. for all the latest news, merch, music, and just connect, man. I appreciate y'all so much. It's Live Struggle Legacy. We build a pyramids.
Live Struggle Legacy. It's a whole movement.